Here. So welcome. Sorry for the short notice. We're trying to pull everything together and thought it would be a good opportunity to kind of have a town hall type of meeting where if you have some questions, you kind of want to give a brief overview over opening. And if you had some questions or things that we could hopefully answer and help with a little of the anxiety and anxiousness and stress that's coming in with opening. But just to introduce myself, I'm Joe Lowers, the principal here at Glacier, and it's such a privilege to be here. Most of you know what the information that's been sent out, that originally from Minnesota, moved to Montana, Billings, Montana, when I was a freshman, and went to Skyview High School, and then long story short, ended up in Great Falls, and was there for 18 years and ended up here with the privilege of becoming the new principal here at Glacier. And I can't tell you enough how privileged it is to be here and how humble it is to have this opportunity with all of you listening online and here with you tonight. And so just excited to get started, to get rolling. It's been a lot of information and a lot to deal with, but we've just been working together as a pack and as a community and as a district to roll this out the best and the safest, best plan that we can. And that's what we're going to try to present and tonight. We'll talk a little bit about the school, a little bit about the operational guide for the pandemic and the COVID protocol, and then any questions that you guys have regarding the current curriculum that's been ongoing and changing. And so I just want to assure you all that everybody is working some major overtime to make this work. So much is happening behind the scenes. I know there's been that community feel like we don't know really what's going on and what the information is, and we've been trying to provide that enough information that you're not overwhelmed by it, and that you get so much that you don't look at it, but also keep you up to date as it comes out. So it's not like we haven't been trying to provide you with that. Some of it is just time sensitive because we don't have that information ourselves. So we just want to thank everybody involved for your patience and everything that as we go through this in the next couple of weeks. If you have concerns or questions, feel free to call us. We will try to help you through whatever situation that you are dealing with, whether it be academic, classroom-oriented, athletically, whatever that is, we're going to be here for you and make that work. Okay? So to get started real quick, this is our new administrative team here, two old and two new, and so I should say veterans, not old. But we have Mark Dennehy, who's been in the district for a long time, and he's our activities director and associate principal. And then I've already introduced myself, and we have Alan Stanfield, who is our curriculum guru. He has really hit the ground running and has done an amazing job. Just being 1 month on the job, he didn't really understand what was going to be happening. He thought he had a whole year to do because everything was in place for our curriculum and for our master schedule, and then that got kind of blown up in the last 2 weeks. And so he had a crash course on the avionics of trying to put together a master schedule, and he's done super. He's a offensive coordinator from Whitworth College, and what better person to have in that role than an offensive coordinator that can put together the X's and O's and make that happen. And I can't tell you what he has been a gold standard in that position, and he has really wowed us with his knowledge and being able to take that on and catch on. And so we're just privileged to have him. And we have Lance Labrum, who's associate principal as well, and he's been here for a number of years, and he's been kind of our Yoda, the guy with the wisdom and the person that we can go to and for information and helping us in all areas of the school. And he's done a great job today. We had our mentors, students in here today, and he was getting them ready for our freshman orientation. And he did a great job with prepping them and keeping the anxiety down and having fun with them and making them feel good about our start. So thank you. Some other people, we have a new administrative staff. There's a couple girls as well, and I had to show you them what they took their first picture with their masks on, but this is how they would look without their masks. We have Margot Sorensen, who is she's my personal assistant in the office as a principal assistant, and Trina Fuller. She's new to the administrative office as well, and she comes from us from Flathead High, and she has a daughter that goes here, and she's been doing a tremendous job as well. We have Mary McCamley, who also has been here for a while and is in the administrative position. We have Maggie McKay, who's the athletics secretary, and she's been around her and Mark for a number of years and has done a great job, and she's kind of our calm person in the office that brings us around and keeps us calm and keeps us focused on what's ahead. And then Carrie Williams, she is the new secretary head in the counseling office and an administrative person in there. So that's the new roles that we have for our administrative assistants. Here's our counseling and career center people. We have Keith with us tonight, but and he'll answer some questions if we need any of those. But you can see the names up there. We have Jennifer Morin and Chris Weeks, who's our department head, and they've been a tremendous job. They also had me called in to reschedule kids for remote learning, blended learning, and regular learning in-house. So it's quite the task to try to schedule people in the spring semester, let alone in 3 days. You can't imagine the manpower that it took and the time it took to, this kid is taking 4 classes remote and this kid's taking 1 class in-house, or these kids are all remote, and try to rearrange that schedule. They were working directly with Alan and trying to do that so we can have all of the kids have their classes that we need them to have to get the curriculum and the credits that they need, and also to staff it and prepare for that. I mean, you have to understand what it takes us to prepare for a regular classroom. We have some teachers that are doing both, and then we have some teachers that are just strictly remote. And so I just hope you really thank a teacher or person that is doing their, they're really going above and beyond to serve you as a community, and we can't thank them enough for what they're doing to step up in their role and make and provide a quality education for your students. This is Wiley Fusero, who is he is our school resource officer, and so if you ever have any problems, you can connect with him within the school, whatever it is, you can connect with him, and he works directly with the police department, and obviously he's in our school and works with our kids, does an amazing job of connecting, building relationships, and also providing safety for our school. I'm going to have Mark, he's going to come up and kind of talk about our culture a little bit. He's going to give a brief overview of our 3 standards that we're kind of putting in place, and let's talk briefly about that.
Thanks, Joel. A little bit about our culture. I see some familiar faces out there, and I think some of you know how we operate and what we do. A little bit about Glacier High. Lots and lots of gratitude. We are incredibly thankful to our community. We project that to our students. We also have our students work on that as well, and they do a tremendous job of showing a lot of gratitude. We are very blessed here. If you look at our facility, lots of support within the community, and I'd like to thank you for your support. We appreciate you that are online and then you that are here today. So thanks for coming out. A little bit about GRIT. The foundation of Glacier High was hard work and pushing through and persevering. When we opened, it'll be 13 years ago, this will be our 14th year, we did not have seniors and we were missing a lot of juniors. And we operated in a AA schedule. We went out right away and we had to overcome because those scores were very lopsided. Our kids were very malleable. They listened to the adults. They worked through the challenges. We went from here to here, and you saw Wiley Fusero there, and he was one of those guys who helped build the foundation here, and lots and lots of grit. And our kids, we may not have huge rosters on every team. We got a lot of kids who work incredibly hard. That grit is also within the classroom. We expect that to overcome and work through, and we're going to need to show it this year because it's one of those challenging years, most challenging year we probably have ever had. And then grace. We need to show grace. One thing we're talking about with our staff and leadership team is we need to meet your kids where they're at. There's going to be some challenges we understand, and some students, they're ready to go. Some students they're still in spring mode. They think we're kind of halfway going through this. No, we're going to get rolling, but we're going to still need to meet your students where they're at and show a whole lot of grace to ensure that they're going to do well here at Glacier High. So we're working hard, and we're very thankful for you and for your kids.
Sorry about that online. I was trying to look for the volume to turn it up a little bit on the laptop. I guess they're having a little hard time hearing. So we'll try to stand a little closer to the laptop so they can hopefully hear at home what's going on. I didn't want to mess with it too much because once you do that, then you never seem to get it back. So I apologize that online as we try to work through this, and hopefully you can watch it later and we can turn up the volume a little bit. Our theme for this year is making moves, and it kind of really goes along with our attitude that we want to project this year, making moves in the season that we have offered to us. And so the main thing was, every step that we take, every move we make is an important, and last year's theme was Vision 2020. And when you have a vision, you need to take that vision and you have to put it in, take the next step to meet that goal. And to meet that goal, you need to make a move. And so it's great to have ideas. It's great to have a vision on what we want to do, but it only can happen if we make a move to achieve that goal. So I thought it was very appropriate that we take that into this season, that we are going to make a move to whatever our goal, whatever our sights are set on, that we are going to take moves to get there. But it also goes with the opportunities and the placement that we have within our current situation. All the time, sometimes we don't have those opportunities that we can't, we're trying to get to our goal and we're blocked by circumstance. And circumstance happens for a reason. A lot of times it's character building within us. It's things that we need to achieve and seize the day and seize the opportunity. So sometimes when we're trying to get to that goal, life takes us down a different path. And so when it takes us down that other path for a certain amount of time, what opportunity can I seize in that season that will help me reach that goal and make me even better with that situation once I achieve it? So we're in this season and we've had to make a lot of different changes. And so what opportunity can I seize today that'll still prepare for my goal tomorrow? Even though my sights are still set on that, I don't want to miss what opportunity I could help with somebody else achieve, or myself become a better person, better character, whatever it is that life is molding me into, that I can make a move to make myself even better when I achieve that goal. So that's the kind of the theme and the concept behind making moves. The Glacier High School mission, this is embedded in our bedrock here at the school. When you read through it, the mission of Glacier High School is to inspire lifelong learning by providing a broad, engaging education in a respectful, safe, and supportive environment. And as I was reading through this before the presentation, I was looking at the wording lifelong learning, and it kind of goes back to making moves. As we go through and trying to achieve our goals in life, lifelong learning is just not academic. Life also teaches us about character and circumstances that aren't always fair, and how we battle through those circumstances, and how life can challenge us to reach our goals, but also make us better people. So lifelong learning is, we always want to keep growing academically and always becoming better, but also shaping us as a person to help others, to be there for others. And so I think the two key words in that is lifelong learning. And what lesson am I going to learn in this season that doesn't seem fair? I'm not going to get to go to prom, or maybe I missed a high school football game or band concert or performance or whatever that is. I either can be bitter about it and I can grow angry and carry that throughout my life. It's not that I can't be disappointed in the moment for that lost opportunity, but what can I do to make that opportunity fruitful for my future, and how can it make me a better person, and learn a lesson in this season that life isn't always fair, but I don't have to grow as a bitter person or a hurtful person to others or hateful with the circumstance. It's a circumstance that's generally out of our control. We have some control aspects of it by wearing masks and social distancing and trying to do those things to stay safe from ourselves and each other, but overall we can't really control the pandemic. That's a circumstance that's really out of our control that didn't happen through our circumstance. So instead of taking that hate and that anger and that disappointment and then turning it into a lifelong rage, I can turn it into something positive. What can I use in that circumstance to learn a life lesson and keep on learning and growing as a person? And so I really respected that foundation that we have in our mission. And that kind of goes back to the PACT Gold Standard. The other day I was reading in the morning, and this was in one of the things that I was reading, and it talked about the refining process. And this kind of goes along with lifelong learning and the season that we're in. And sometimes we have to go through that refining process in order to become pure. And it talked about the refining process for gold. And when they're refining gold, there's two different processes that they can use. And one is called the Miller process. And it's the quickest and the least expensive. And it still produces a quality product, but it only ends up at 99.95% pure. Or if you want to take the harder road, then be really refined and be the best that we can be in that season or in that circumstance, we can take the well process, which takes a little bit more time. It costs a little bit more, but now we end up with 99.9% pure. So that just kind of goes back to that circumstances of that we want to be the best that we can. And this pandemic is refining us in a lot of different ways. And so you got to look at it that aspect of, I don't want to end up at 99.95. I want to be the best I can be when I come out of that circumstance. And life shapes us that way, doesn't it? And so I just kind of want to keep that mindset and that attitude as we not only teach that academically here at Glacier High School, but also as we're living it out in our daily circumstances and what it's doing to shape us and make us the purest, best that we can be in all of our circumstances. And then Alan is going to come up. He's our master scheduler, and he's going to talk about the academic programs that we have going on and some of the changes that have happened with that.
Well, let me just say I, like Joel, feel very humbled and privileged to be here at Glacier. And in my short time here, I've just been amazed at how hardworking people are here to make this a great place. I'm almost nervous every time I go over to the counselor's office because it usually means I'm giving them more work to do in light of the things that we've had to change with schedules. But they've embraced that, and they're working with every student to make whatever opportunity they need for their schedule to work. And so just know that there's a ton of people working behind the scenes to make this school year be awesome for your students. We've had teachers that are technically out of contract, not supposed to be here in the building, here working on what schedule changes need to happen in their department, and how are we going to cover remote classes with hybrid models of in-person and remote learning. So just an amazing staff so far, and privileged to get to know people as we've been working on this. The first slide really just talks about the graduation requirements. And it's easy to see these as kind of the laundry list of things that your student has to check off and do to graduate. But I really think this is a choice of, as we have the opportunity to look at this as, this is the roadmap that prepares our students for success as part of what Joel talked about in the mission of lifelong learning. Our teachers will be taking them through these courses. One of the things that drew me to Glacier in the spring when I was interviewing for this job is the curriculum here is amazing. I've been in 5 different high schools as an educator, and the offerings that exist here at Glacier are unique to any school I've seen. The amount of elective courses and the amount of opportunities your students have to tailor make both getting the graduation requirements met, but then taking classes that they really have the interest and desire to go deeper in their learning and to help prepare them for their future is really incredible here. So again, I don't need to go through this all, but you have your English is the only core curriculum that is required each year. You have 2.5 social science. The general track of that is Western Civ, U.S. history, and American government. We have APs, I'll get to those in another slide, that can slide into those. For example, Western Civ can be replaced by AP World History. And so there's some things that meet those requirements, but these are the general core standards. Math, 3 credits of math. Science, 2 credits. A lot of our students will take more than that, especially college-bound students. International language, there's none required, but we have a tremendous amount of students that take 1, 2, 3 years of French or Spanish, and then even a 4th year of AP their senior year. We have some amazing foreign language teachers here that are accommodating both our in-person and remote offerings, and we can talk about that in a moment. Our fine art credit, our health PE, 1.5, vocational, again, many opportunities to meet that 1 credit. And then our college and career readiness 1 and 2 are really housed out of our business department. And so you'll see those both offered. They're called different things at Glacier and Flathead. And so one of the things that we had to do when we offered remote classes was combine the language. This is really the same class for these remote students that will be taking this from both high schools. And then you see you have 6 credits of general electives that gets you to the 22, the magic number for graduation. Any questions on those? Okay. This is what kind of combined to become our remote education center menu. Okay, so based on student requests, we had to come up with a core curriculum for remote learning that met the basic standards. We could not offer electives that were tailor-made to maybe like 3 students that were choosing to go remote and wanted improv. Improv is also something that just doesn't really work remote. So this menu became more general to meet the graduation standards, less specific than you would get with some of the in-person offerings for electives here. We have allowed as a district a combination of in-person. So if you'll see there's no band offerings, there's no ag offerings. If your student feels comfortable, your family's made a decision they can go to the ag center, then they'll take those classes in person that they would have been taking at the ag center and be remote the rest of the day from home. So we have accommodated all those requests that allow families to make the best menu selections for their schedules, but also with the safety that they want to implement for each family. And it's been amazing how many families are making these decisions for a variety of different reasons. And so I was at the dentist the other day, just a kind of side story here. I was talking to the dentist, the first time being there, new in Kalispell, and I said, "Are your students going to school?" And she said, "They really want to. I really wanted them to. For the health of my practice and not to have to shut my staff down, I felt like I had to keep them remote so that I could keep our business open and functioning." And that's a perspective I had not even thought about. Like there's a decision to go remote that was nothing about that individual family's feeling about the circumstances, but what it meant for others around them and how it would impact them if they had to shut down their dentist's office. So a lot of understanding and again, going back to that grace of why people have made these decisions for a variety of different reasons. But that was the menu that we came to offer. Those are the classes. The secondary option was if we couldn't offer a class, these were really our APs, which are on the next slide. If we couldn't offer an AP course online remote, there were options to take these through BYU remote learning. The district is paying for those classes as long as the student doesn't fail. So if they fail the course, that student would be billed for that fee for that course. As long as they pass the course, the district is covering that credit. So that was a way we, again, accommodated course requests that we couldn't justify a teacher teaching remote because there weren't enough requests, but they could take it individually online through remote learning BYU, okay? We have phenomenal AP courses. Our numbers are growing and strong. We have great teachers. You have to be certified to teach these courses. It's a national class. The evidence shows that students that take even one AP course in their 4 years at Glacier will be more ready for success in college or whatever they do after. And so these are the tracks that we offer in the different subject areas. And so again, a lot of offerings and giving students a lot of selection on the type of AP courses that they can take. And then kind of the culmination of their Glacier experience is graduation and the different chords of achievement that they can reach. And again, this just goes to accommodating to different students' interests. They can achieve a variety of different accomplishments, whether it be, AP, ag, arts, wherever their interests lie. And those are all outlined in the student handbook about what requirements really are needing to be met for that accomplishment. And then those chords are worn and celebrated as graduation as the culmination of their studies here at Glacier. So again, any general questions on the curriculum here at Glacier and the offerings? We are doing both in person and remote.
All right, thank you, Alan. I don't know if you've checked out that they've done an amazing job. Our district IT guys have developed a new website for our district, and it has a lot of good information on there. And you can go on there and you can find our activity handbooks. And if you just go up to schools and click on Glacier High School, it has, all of that information and different things that you can take a look at and find information on our school and updates and announcements and activities and things that are going on. If you go up to students and parents, you can find the student and parent handbook and the activities handbook, which Mark will talking about here in a few minutes, and it has a lot of that information available for us online. So if you need that, you can go there to check it out and check out a lot of information that is on our website. Can't get off of my click because the thing came down on me. Here we go. All right, sorry, the thing kept scrolling down on me. Couldn't get to it. And so another way you can connect that's being stuff that has been sent out is through our media outlet. And here's the information. And these slides we'll put online as well with the video, so you guys can look through them or get that information if you're missing anything. But here's some valuable resources that you can stay connected to Glacier and things that are being sent out on Instagram or Twitter or even Facebook. You can follow us and get all that information that's been updated and sent out. And so other than our webpage, these are other valuable resources that you can connect with to stay connected to what's going on at our school. And then coming to our pandemic operational guide, a lot of you have already heard a lot about this. I'm not really here to provide any new information, just kind of give you an overview of what Glacier is doing in-house. We're following the district directive and then also the county directive of wearing masks, washing our hands, and try to social distance when available, and trying to do all those things to keep that. But if you go to the Kalispell Public Schools website, as I was just showing before, they have a lot of valuable resources down here. If you click over here on how to protect yourself and others, it has a lot of different things about, we want to make sure they're washing their hands, and this is the message we're going to be reiterating over and over again to our students and our staff, and making sure that we're doing the things that we need to do as for the CDC and the county and those individuals that are conducting and watching over our situation. So we have that one, and then also we have the response and updates. It talks about our phased approach and how that's going to look as we go through the different phases. It has a shared responsibility. It talks about hygiene measures that the district is doing, the school setting. As you can see, we're trying to space out the desks and the rooms to accommodate them. the best we can, and they're all facing forward. I've talked about what the food program is doing, what the athletics and activities are doing, how they're going to be bused and how that's going to work, and the cleaning and maintenance of the building. So a lot of those questions that you have, you can find directly right on the Kalispell Public Schools webpage, and that talks a lot about that information. And so Lance is going to come up here and kind of give us an overview of what we are doing here at Glacier High individually to work with our pandemic guidelines.
Thanks, Joel. So just to talk a little bit about what we're doing with Glacier High School, and first of all, we are grateful that you're here. We're grateful for those that are online. We don't have a packed house, as you can see, but it's important to us to get this information out, to provide information and opportunities to get that information out to all of you. One of the things, like Joel had said earlier, we had mentors in today, and I was able to meet. We did 3 different sessions. We have 100 mentors. We did 3 different sessions in here where they were able to space out, and the kids were great. It does my heart good to see kids back in the building and to get moving forward through all of this. And it's going to be some challenges, and there's going to be some changes and bumps, but we're going to make it through that. And that's what was kind of the message to our kids. It's going to be the message to all our kids. We are going to do the very best to keep kids safe, to keep faculty safe, but to have a good year too, to make sure 2021 is a good year for students and a good year for parents. And so my message is we are going to do our best to take care of your kids, and we are glad to have them back here and coming to Glacier High School, whether it be here, remote, or however that looks. Some of the things we're going to do, and there's some challenges with all of this, and there's some challenges that we have to meet with standards put forth from the CDC, the Flathead County, from our school board. Like Joel said, the masks, that's a tough situation. And we talked with the mentors, they were great about it, and they were all in masks, but there's some challenges, and we get that too, and we're gonna work individually with students as we need to in all situations. So just kind of some of the in-house stuff. We are gonna have signs located, and you saw them as you came in. We're gonna have these signs throughout the building, just the stuff we posted all summer long and that we had posted last spring, to wash hands, as Joel said, to take care of those things. If you're coming down with any of these symptoms, we encourage you not to be here at school. We're not going to penalize you for that, but just really take those things to heart early and encourage those for all kids and for parents too, that, if your student is not feeling well, they need to stay home, those kind of things. Our attendance policy is suspended still, and that's not, so those kind of things aren't going to count against students if they have to stay home. Talking about hallway traffic, so one of the guidelines is that we have to have traffic flow in a particular order. And we can't really tell kids, okay, you exit all out that building, if you got to go back that building, you have to make a big circle. So what we're doing at Glacier is we're calling it the right of way. We're going to teach kids this. We're going to teach it on the first day of school for freshmen, on the first day of school for our whole student body. But we're going to have everyone, if you stay to the right, our traffic flow is going to be fine. Whether you're headed east or west, if you stay right, you're doing the right thing. As we're going down the commons, if you come to the center commons, and that's our congregational area, kids going east will have to stay to that right because it moves them around the stairway. It keeps traffic flow that way. Kids coming to the west will be able to walk down the center of the hall commons, which will stay to the right. And it works if you just stay right. So it's a simple message. And now there's some areas going upstairs if you stay right, but there will be some areas where kids have to pass, and it can't be perfect. There's no way to do that. But we're going to stress to the kids, stay right, and that'll keep our traffic flow in a way that meets the measures for the county health department and CDC. Lunch is, well, let me go back to the commons a little bit. So it's been a little bit of a challenge thinking, we have 1,300 kids in the high school. How do we do this? One way, the hallway traffic, that's pretty good. I think we'll be good with that. Our kids kind of do that anyway. That's going to be easy to teach. The other thing at lunch, going to lunch and before school and after school, we're going to have our tables out, but we will only be able to allow 4 students to a table. So they see 8, we're going to have to go to 4 students per table. We can't have the congregation of kids, so the message from us will be 4 students to a table. Otherwise, you need to be headed to your class or headed to your next area. So we can't really have that congregation. So we'll be understanding with it. We're not gonna be out there with blowhorns yelling at kids by any means, but we're gonna teach them the way to do things, and hopefully we can get into the flow and it'll work well. At lunch, we're gonna bring in 20 to 30 tables. We're gonna see if we can seat everybody up with 20 extra tables. If not, we'll bring in more tables because we can only have those 4 kids at a table. We'll also utilize our D100 pod, our E100 pod with tables in there, still 4 at a table, but that'll give us almost 350 or 400 seats where students can sit if you sit 4 to a table. So we have plenty of seating, and we'll work it out to where we're able to distance those students and make sure they're at that acceptable level for the county health department. Assigned seating. So the interesting thing is we all know what contact tracing is. I think that's been drilled into us in the last while. One of the things we're going to have to do is have assigned seatings, whether you're on a bus or whether you're in the classroom, and even at lunch, we're going to have to do assigned seating. So we're going to allow students to pick where they sit, but they will need to sit there just in case someone gets sick and we need to get back to the health department, which people they were close to. So they can sit 4 to a table, but they will need to be assigned seating. And we all know how high school is. Friends fight, drama happen. We're going to work with kids, so we're not going to create. No, you're there. That's where you signed up. Sorry, we're going to work with kids in that situation. We will have open campus still, to let you know that, except for freshmen. So sophomores, juniors, and seniors can still leave campus, and then a freshman will have that closed campus. After school, 4 to a table, and we will be encouraging kids to go to their activities or go home. We can't have the congregations after school either. So really eliminating that. We'll have staff out there. We have to do our best, and it's not going to be a perfect situation, but we're going to do our best, and we will work with kids, teachers, staffs, to whatever we need to do to make sure we meet the guidelines and keep things flowing and going well at Glacier High School. And I think that's it. So I think we'll wait till the end for if there's any questions, and we'll answer any questions afterwards or at any time. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Lance. So that's kind of brief overview of what we're going to be doing here at Glacier. And as he said, we're going to try and protect and keep us safe and reiterate that message over and over again as we go through the starting and throughout the school year. And so you saw some of these signs that were coming into school. We have these posted all over in the expectations and the guidelines. And so kids will be seeing this. They will be given this information the first few days of school. And a lot of them have already seen it because they've been in and out of school. But we're going to continue to provide the most safe environment for our community and for your students as we can. And so Mark's going to come up and talk just a quick brief overview of what's happened with athletics and activities. He sent some of this information out already, but he's going to kind of highlight it here tonight. Just kind of what's the up-to-date message from the MSHA and our school athletics and activities.
Thanks, Joel. As you know, our situation is constantly evolving, and the last few weeks have been a flurry. We've been rescheduling, shuffling, canceling, adjusting, and we've been trying to keep you up to date. Sent out some information to you yesterday via email, and we provided that information. And some of that information, as a parent, you're probably not super happy about, especially when it pertains to activities. Activities brings out a lot of emotion with us. We understand that. But I will tell you that the Flathead Valley Activities Directors and the Health Department worked really hard to meet the needs of our parents. And actually for our contest, we're going to be allowed 2 fans per participant. So we felt grateful for that. Some of the communities out there are not allowing any fans at this time. You see the NBA and you see Major League Baseball not allowing any fans. So we are going to be opening with fans, but we're also going to be ensuring that everyone has a mask and that we are practicing social distancing. We are not selling tickets this year, activity tickets, to our games. We are going to give the participants, our kids, 2 lanyards that'll have a pass for their specific sport, and then they'll give that to their parents, and their parents will manage those 2. And we have had some questions. What if we have a split family? We have 4. And my answer to those folks have been, you're going to have to rotate those games. So I know it's not the best situation, but I think what Joel has said earlier, we're going to make the best of what we have. And I think we need to focus on what we have rather than what we don't have. So we will send out activities updates probably once every couple of weeks through the Constant Contact means, and it'll give you an update of where we're at. We will be meeting with our Flathead County health officers and activities directors from the county about every 4 weeks, and hopefully some of these restrictions will be adjusted. Right now, we do not have the band coming to our football contest. I would anticipate that the band will be coming, provided that things are moving in the right direction and we don't have a lot of spread and so forth. You know, we're just going to have the ebb and flow throughout the year and make the best of a tough situation. A little bit more in regard of what can help you. We'll see. It's not there. The Booster Club. I'm going to our activities website, but our Booster Club is on that page. But if we go to the activities website, this was newly designed this past spring. Maggie McKay, my assistant, did a lot of the legwork. I had the ideas, and I said, all right, this is what we want it to look like, and Maggie made it work and does a tremendous job. One thing that you'll find here on the bottom of the page is you will see our schedule. You'll see the schedule there with tabs on the bottom for each of the specific schedules, and then you'll also see our daily calendar. You can download that. There's a process by which you can go through that and download that and have that on your phone, or you can just go to the website and you can click. This is the most up-to-date information that you'll find. One of the challenges we've had in the past is we'll send out a schedule, well then it changes and sometimes coaches don't get it. Maggie does a great job of updating and will continue to provide you with the most up-to-date information. Mention the Booster Club. There's a Booster Club here. We have a web page here. I sent out a link yesterday, and there's an opportunity there where you just click, you put all your information in, and you can submit a credit card information. We are asking, and hopefully people will consider becoming members of our Booster Club. There are 2 main fundraisers for our Booster Club. One is membership, and 2 is our booster raffle, or $10,000 raffle. That's going to be held November 7th, and we are going to sell 325 tickets at $100 each, but you have an opportunity to win $10,000. It's a great event. Right now, we are scheduled to be out at Snowline Acres on the 7th. If not, worst case scenario, we will have an online version and we will be picking tickets and doing everything else and online. And we're moving to what is called hand bid this year. And that will improve our checkout system at the raffle. And you'll be able to bid on items with your phone. We will be sending out more information. So we're excited about that. Our Booster Club, each and every year for probably the last 10 years, we have raised more and more money each and every year. This past year, we raised $65,000 that went to 20+ programs. And the money is distributed according to how much portion of it is distributed according to the percent of the budget they have. And then 40% of the money actually is divided evenly amongst all the programs. So incredible support, and we're very fortunate to have the Booster Club, and we encourage you to be a part of that. One thing throughout this, and I think Joel touched on it, as your kids go through activities, you know, we're working through the mask thing here. You know, they're going to have that mask on when they're out on the field. Like when they're not playing, they're going to have that mask on. When they're walking to the contest, they're going to have the mask on. When they're in the gym, they're going to have the mask on. We are purchasing gaiters, buffs that will be coming in, so they'll be easily pulled up and down. So we're working to try to meet your needs. We ordered those 4 to 5 weeks ago. Production, as you know, probably everyone in the country wants those. So we're going to hopefully get some here by the end of the week. That's what I've been told. And we will hand those out to our kids. And as they work through that, and as we work through it, please encourage your kids to do the best they can in using that protective equipment. And if not, you know, not only do we risk infection and the spread, we risk being in a lot of trouble with Montana High School Association. We want to avoid that. We want to be the best. We tell our kids and our parents through this pandemic, we want to be the best at navigating through that. So that's just a little bit about activities. Email me, call me. I'm here to help. Thank you.
All right, and just to finish up here, and this kind of goes back to we're all responsible for our own mindset and using the opportunity that's given to us. Life isn't always fair, and what am I going to do with it when it's not fair? Am I just going to quit, or am I going to seize an opportunity and use this opportunity to still grow as a person, to use it to become a better person, and I still have a life to live. And I can still be productive and useful in this season, even if circumstances and things that are taken away from me, I still can produce a product of purity, gold, and still become pure as gold in those positive mindsets. So we just want to keep that in mind, and that's the message we're really going to be portraying to the students and the staff. It's not going to be perfect. It's going to be different. It's going to be frustrated. You know, and it's going to be all the things that we're not used to being, but we want to keep that positive mindset and use the opportunities that are set before us and not focus, like Mark said, on the things that we can't do. So just keeping that positive mindset here at Glacier, we're still going to have high expectations for the students, but our goal and our focus is going to be on the well-being of students. Obviously their mental health and their physical health, not just their bodies, but just obviously taking care of them and trying to keep the school as safe and others as safe as possible. Again, embracing the opportunities, and we are going to get through this. You know, there's going to be an end, and we're just in this season right now, and we're going to finish and keep using those circumstances with positive and seize those opportunities. I once had a mentor who had, and not that it was wrong, but in his office, he said that in his office we can do hard things. And I like that concept, and I've always enjoyed looking at that and realizing we can do hard things. But I like the philosophy of we will do hard things. Because we can do a lot of things, but are you going to actually fulfill that vision and make a move and go for those hard things? And that's the only way that they're seized and that they're gained and your goal is achieved, is when you go step forward and make a move toward those things. And so we will do those things. We've done that already by trying to make the education and the curriculum the best that we can to accommodate your students. Is it perfect for every student? Absolutely not. But we did the best we could with the circumstances that we have with athletics. You know, is it perfect? We had to cancel some non-conference games, but we still get to play. And so we're doing hard things. And that's not hard for Mark to put that together, you know, to be able to have fans at the game and all those things, extra things that we normally don't have to do in a day. Now we have to try and come up with a way to make it work. And Glacier High School and Kalispell Public Schools is doing the best that they can to make it work. So we just want to thank you again for your support and your understanding, and most of all, your patience. We have seen little bit of frustration, but a lot of understanding. We just can't thank all the community for their support and their understanding and working with us and thanking us every step of the way. So thank you. I'll open it up for just a couple minutes if there's any quick questions that we can try and answer, and then that'll be our event for the evening. Any quick questions? Anything online, Alan? See? Okay, and like Mark said, if there's something pops up, you can email us, email me. Something, I'm sure there is a lot of questions out there that maybe aren't answered, but if you have a email me, I'll respond and get back to you. Some of you have called and I've talked to you personally, and that's fine as well. We're available, we're here to work with you, and thank you for being here and for your time tonight. Thank you.